and good morning. Today is Monday, August 9th, 2021. I am Lindsay Duff, and this is Responsible Day Trading. So today I'm coming to you from my office. So I'm kind of excited about that. It is not set up properly, but you can see I've tried to make it look as pretty as possible. A lot of these pictures are going to end up other places, but it's good for now. So let's go ahead and check it out. Honestly, we're seeing this together for the first time. Usually I take a minute and look at it. I have not today. So as for the news we have today, let's see. We've got some this morning at 9 o'clock. We've got some Tuesday at 11 a.m. So we just want to be aware of that. Wednesday, we got a little pre-market, and then we've got crude inventories at 9:30. And then Thursday, it's pre-market. Friday, there's no news. So if you follow news and that's something that is really, up your alley, you want to be aware of this. And you can always come to responsibledaytrading.com calendar and market news to find that out. All right, so let's go ahead and look at the daily chart. I have no idea what this tells me. Oh my goodness. Y'all. Okay, so we did make a new high. Just barely, right? Just barely made a new high. This BB right here couldn't be more, it just couldn't be more 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. I really think that this is a point where we're going to see a correction or a pullback. I'm going to pull this up here a little bit more. We'll go ahead and pull this one up just a little bit. We'll expect it to number one, pull back to the EMA. I mean, guys, this could break out either way. Right now, it is purple, which says more down, but it's pre-market, and the market doesn't even start for another hour. But the fact that we haven't broken through, oh my gosh, this is so this is so crazy, because these Bollinger Bands just getting closer and closer and closer. When it breaks out, it's probably going to break out with the thunder, okay? And I do expect it to break out to the downside. I'll be very honest with you. I expect to see something more along the lines of this. When it breaks out, we'll see it pull back either to the EMA would be the first place. The next place would be this 4,200 area that held up for a very, very long time. And then we've got the, 4,100 area of the lower EMA. So if this does finally snap to the downside, I've got some great target areas to look for this to happen. So let's go ahead and take a look at the next biggest tick chart, which is my 28,657. 28,657 is kind of begging to differ. Let's see. It's pulled down already. The BBs are starting to lighten up, and we're at the EMA. Now, this EMA has not exactly been the holding, has not exactly been holding. We may see it come down a little bit more, and you can see where I've drawn those other circles on here that gives us areas for this to come back to. Now, if this comes all the way back here, we can see we have that area back here to line up with. But man, I really think that this is going to try and make a move to the downside. The only thing that now has me questioning it is the BB starting to get a little bit lighter right here, and the EMA is starting to open up to the upside. But really, it's been such a struggle, and we can see the EMAs, we can see the MACDs just keep leading lower and lower and lower, while the price keeps trying to make higher pivots. So I think this has a good chance of going down, but it, as I always say, you don't want to try and make things happen. You want to pay attention and listen to what it's telling you. So let's look at the 10,946. 10,946 pulled down to that EMA, which is that same EMA on the 28,657. This large EMA on the 10,946 is the small EMA on the 28,657. So those are the same spaces right there. But we can see it pull down to the large EMA, which you know, is this going to hold? The small EMA obviously has been very weak and whipped above and below and above and below. Now, we're sitting here at the Bollinger Band. This could very easily roll down. I think we're going to see a down day. I really, really, really do. And coming back to that daily chart really quick, when I say I think we're seeing a down day, we've pulled really far away from these EMAs. The nature is for this to act like a magnet and snap back to it and then pop off of it. Especially once we create a lot of distance to it, we have divergences, because we do have divergences here as well. The prices leading higher, MACDs just keep leading lower. So it's going to have to do a little bit of work to get back up there, but I mean, it's just been hanging out here. Who knows? Maybe it'll just hang out for another day. Let's go ahead and pull up the next smallest tick chart, or next bigger tick chart. When I'm looking at this 4181, this looks like more down. We're below the EMAs, we're below the zero line. I think we're gonna see this start to make moves to the downside, guys. I really, really, really do. Now, like I always say, we wanna pay attention to what the market's telling us. We don't wanna try and force it. Now, right now I've got my smaller tick charts, the 1597, 610, and the 233. If this starts to make bigger swings, which we can see it tried to overnight, I'll move the 1597 as my trading chart. I'll probably keep the 233, but in this space would be something along the lines of the 10946. Once it starts making bigger moves and spreading out, we can see for the last, I don't know, 2 weeks, this thing has just been, where did my 28,657? This thing has just really been hanging out. It's made a few big moves. That was on the 18th of July, okay? But otherwise, it's just been staying in this same little spot. So my thought process is that this is finally gonna make moves to the downside. But I don't wanna get stuck in that mindset, because if it starts to go back up, then I'm gonna be like, oh, I'm trying to force this down. So more than anything, guys, pay attention, trade what you see. Just because I expect it to go down obviously does not mean that it will go down, because the market's going to do what it wants to do. So I need to pay attention and be a part of that. School starts in 2 days, so I'm hoping in 3 days I'm going to be recording again and trading. Now that I'm getting settled in over here, obviously I've still got some unpacking to do, and I have actually decided to cancel my cruise. So I was going to start recording again after the cruise, but there was a lot going on, guys. It was one of those things. It was like, do I really want to do that right now with everything going on? So we went ahead and decided to take a step back from that. We'll probably still take a little vacay, just a much shorter one, and one that has internet. so we can stay connected. But guys, as I was saying, just trade what you see. You don't want to try and force the market to do anything. My thought process is that it's going to go down, but it doesn't mean that it's going to. I mean, obviously we're all waiting for a big correction because it's just been hobbling to the upside, but it could just as easily continue up. So that doesn't mean just because I think it's going to go down that it will. So paying attention, being in the moment, seeing what the indicators are telling you, and not trying to force it to do what you want it to do is the way to win in this kind of game, right? Don't forget to check out the video on the tax pros so that you can find out about setting up your trading as a business, so you can make sure that you do not lose any of your money that you make, and that you are in good with the IRS. You know, that's one thing that we all want to make sure of, that we're in good with the IRS so that we're not giving away any of our money and we get to keep what we make. So, all right, guys, we're going to go ahead and wrap that up. I hope that everybody has a wonderful week. And as always, stay safe, much love. And you know that I look forward to catching you on the profitable side. Have a great day, guys.